Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Back home in Arizona, enjoying this beautiful, cool weather. The roof is open for some interleague intrigue as we start this homestand with a two-game visit from the Detroit Tigers. It's the Tigers' first trip here in nearly 3 years, and we've got an outstanding pitching matchup to kick it off. The D-backs are back home on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. Glad to be back home. Tonight, the first of two against the Detroit Tigers, and what a pitching matchup we have in store for you tonight, Bob. The fastballs will be flying. Robbie Ray and Justin Verlander.
Yeah, both guys like to throw that high four-seam fastball, and as we know, this is a good hitter's park if you can get that ball elevated to the outfield. Justin Verlander, 2-2 on the season. He's number 55 on the all-time strikeout list and figures to leapfrog a number of other pitchers this season.
For the Diamondbacks, the left-hander Robbie Ray spent 1 year with the Tigers. In fact, he broke into the big leagues with Detroit a few years ago. He has been outstanding lately. They have given him almost no run support.
No run support at all. 1 run last time out. He gave up 2. 1 scored on a ground ball by the opposing pitcher. Another on the hottest hitter on the planet, Ryan Zimmerman, doubled in a run. Struck out the first 5 batters on his way to 10 punch-outs against the Nationals in that game.
Really looking forward to this one as we kick off this long homestand. Justin Verlander and the Tigers, Robbie Ray and the D-backs. First pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona. Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealer, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the gig life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM. A pair of starting pitchers, both averaging 95 miles an hour this year with their fastball. Justin Verlander for the Tigers, Robbie Ray for the D-backs. First pitch is next. Oh, how about this weather we're having here in the Valley today? The roof is open at Chase Field. Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks back in town. And tonight, the first of two against the Detroit Tigers, who are continuing a long West Coast road trip. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Brad Ausmus's Tigers. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Andrew Romine will be leading it off out in center field. Jose Iglesias at shortstop. Miguel Cabrera, the veteran Miguel Cabrera, at first base. Nicholas Castellanos at third base. Justin Upton, the former D-back, out in left field. Mikey Matuk in right field. James McCann doing the catching. Dixon Machado at second base. And one of the recognizable names in this Tiger lineup, the pitcher Justin Verlander.
Your Ram truck starter for the D-backs, left-hander Robbie Ray, who broke into the major leagues with the Tigers 3 years ago, his only season with Detroit. Robbie this year 5th in the National League in strikeouts. The Diamondbacks have scored a total of just 2 runs in Robbie's last 2 starts. He's been outstanding lately. Time, Bob, to finally get him some run support.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we know the Diamondbacks offense kind of went missing in action on that last road trip, but Robbie pitched well enough to win in Washington against a lineup that was as hot as any team we've seen so far this year.
A look at the Diamondbacks defensively, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
A.J. Pollock out in center field, flanked by Yasmani Tomas in left. David Peralta in right. It'll be Jake Lamb and Chris Owings on the left side of the infield. Brandon Drury, Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Jeff Mathis doing the receiving tonight for left-hander Robbie Ray.
The crew chief, Bill Miller, back there. He'll have the balls and strikes tonight. Kerwin Danley at first base. Todd Tishner at second. And Adam Hamari is at third. Tigers just lost 2 of 3 in Oakland over the weekend. The last 2 losses were walk-offs. Detroit had yesterday off here in the Valley. They'll play 2 here at Chase Field. Then it's off to Anaheim for a 4-game series against the Angels. The center fielder tonight is Andrew Romine. He steps in and we are just about set to go. Romine, the ASU Sun Devil, .260 and a homer. Robbie Ray and Justin Verlander, the D-backs and the Tigers. Romine, of course, comes from a baseball family. His brother Austin has spent 6 years with the Yankees. Their dad, Kevin Romine, like Andrew, went to ASU and played parts of 7 seasons with the Red Sox in the late 80s and early 1990s. Their regular center fielder, Jacoby Jones, is on the injured list right now with a hip problem. Ian Kinsler's got a bad hamstring. He was a late scratch from the Tigers starting lineup. There's the strike, and it's 2-1. So they're a little banged up right now.
It's all right. No sympathy.
And of course, no DH here at Chase Field, so no Victor Martinez in the Tigers lineup either. All fastballs from Robbie, but he's fallen behind 3-1. Tigers come into play tonight playing 500 ball, 15-15 on the year. But they're only a game and a half out of first in a fairly weak American League Central division. They're a game and a half back of Cleveland for the division lead. There's Brad Ausmus, the skipper.
The embattled skipper. Seems like every time the Tigers lose 2 or 3 in a row, people are calling for his head.
Well, he just changed closers. K-Rod has been relieved of his duties, and Robbie walks the leadoff man.
That's a shame because opponents are only hitting 118 against Robbie Ray when leading off an inning. He doesn't get hit very hard to start an inning, but a walk is certainly not what he had in mind tonight.
The shortstop Jose Iglesias, 228, 1 home run. He's a guy who will try and bunt for a base hit, so pay attention down there. Struggling lately, hitting under 180 in his last 10 games. This is a team that does not run much at all. Romine has 1 stolen base. He's been caught 3 times. They are a pretty typical American League station-to-station team.
Yeah, the guy at the plate, Iglesias, is a guy that could possibly steal if he gets on base. He's a perfect 3 for 3 this season, but they just don't run much.
Well, they've got a pretty solid middle of the order. Cabrera is on deck, and then Castellanos and Justin Upton. That's where they do most of their damage.
And with that in mind, you'd like to keep the guys off base in front of those thumpers in the middle. Not a lot at the top or bottom of this Tigers order right now.
Robbie is really struggling with his fastball command out of the gate here. Eight pitches so far, 5 of them balls. There's the pitching coach, Mike Butcher. Tapped foul, and it's 1-2.
Robbie went to the breaking ball that time. Sometimes when you're having trouble commanding your fastball, getting it in the zone, the best way to go about finding the zone is to throw some of your secondary pitches. Get out there and really finish a slider, possibly a changeup down, something to force him to finish the pitch, and then go back to the fastball.
We've seen Robbie mix in more curveballs lately as well. Here's the 1-2 at Iglesias. He's very aggressive in 2 strike counts, and he strikes out.
Back-to-back good sliders that time from Robbie. Hopefully that gets him right back in the zone. That's a good one. Started in the strike zone, ended up out of the strike zone.
Well, you better be in the zone against this guy, Miguel Cabrera. 273 and 4 home runs. Could be a real challenge for Robbie Ray. Outfielders are backing up.
There's no doubles defense in the first inning.
Is there a no triples defense? Cabrera, a very aggressive fastball hitter. That one's in there at 96. He has, however, started becoming a little vulnerable now at the age of 34 to inside fastballs. Hasn't had a whole lot of luck with inside fastballs. And Mathis sets up inside. That breaking ball missed, and it's 1-1. Cabrera spent some time on the disabled list late last month when he suffered a right groin strain. But he's hit safely in all 5 games since he returned from the DL. Slider, swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Boy, good location too, right to the back door, just inside of the outside corner, right at the knees. Tough pitch to hit, impossible to take because it's going to be a called strike.
Jeff Mathis behind the plate tonight.
Fastball up. A little too up.
Yeah, it was up.
Just a tad too high.
Nicholas Castellanos, the third baseman, is on deck. Robbie Ray a bit below league average this year when he jumps ahead in the count. A lot of that is fastball command. That still lags a bit. Bill Miller not biting. Oftentimes what happens to Robbie is what's happening right now. He'll jump ahead 1-2, but then it's 2-2 and now 3-2.
Kind of a reverse Goldie.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it happen when you're out there defensively.
And then the pitch count gets elevated. The at-bats take a long time, and Robbie has to work a lot harder to get those outs.
Now this season 27% of his plate appearances go to a 3-ball count. League average is 20%.
Got him. Fastball is in there, says Bill Miller. He strikes out Iglesias and then Cabrera. 2 down.
Bill Miller searching for strikes.
He found one.
He found one close enough.
That appeared to be a little off the plate.
Yeah, I'm referring to the game the Diamondbacks played when I was managing up in Seattle, and Bill Miller was the home plate umpire. And as he came out to take the field before the game, he informed me that the Major League Baseball offices told the umpires to start searching for strikes. I very nearly got ejected before the game even started.
You may be ejected from this booth. So here's Castellanos, the third baseman and cleanup man. Romine at first, 2 outs. Castellanos, a guy really starting to heat up after a slow start, and lately has been barreling the ball up. Very aggressive on hard fastballs. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. He's got 5 doubles over that span. Good line drive hitter. Swings and misses at that slider. It gets away from Mathis, and Romine moves up.
Slider in the dirt in the early going. Jeff Mathis has been busy back there already. That one just kind of hit off the little fingers of his glove and got far enough away to allow Romine to advance into scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, if you're going to throw that type of pitch to Castellanos, keep it down like he did. A lot of line drives against breaking balls at off-speed pitches this year. Here's the 0-1. Takes a fastball. Robbie jumps ahead 0-2. Another slider in the dirt. And again, Robbie gets ahead in the count. The question is, can he finish him off a little more efficiently with Justin Upton on deck?
Not uncommon for a major league pitcher once he gets ahead in the count to try to expand the zone and get the opposing hitter to chase a bad pitch. But a lot of these Tigers hitters are very patient. They're willing to take their walks.
Bounces one by Chris Owings and into left. Here comes Romine, and it's 1-0 Tigers. RBI single for Nicholas Castellanos.
Fastball down in the zone this time. Castellanos just kind of smothers it to the left side of the infield. Unfortunately, gets by Jake Lamb, gets by Chris Owens into left field, and with 2 outs in the inning, Romine off on contact and scores without a play.
Boy, just another example of those leadoff walks. They always, it seems, come back to bite you. Now a 20 pitch first for Robbie, and still some work to do with Justin Upton, the former Diamondback.
You talk about money hitting. Castellanos has been that guy for the Tigers. 5 for 10 this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Upton 264 and 5 homers. And you cannot fall behind in the count against Upton. Most of his homers this year have come with a pitcher behind in the count, well more than league average. And Robbie's behind 2-0. Upton will get very aggressive when he's ahead. And a lot of times that's where his swings and misses come from, but other times he hits it a long way. Like that. Very aggressive. There's the slider, and it's 2-1. Justin Upton, 3 teams in the last 4 years. He's bounced around, but he's produced. Last 4 seasons, he's averaged 28 homers and 85 RBIs a year. The 2-1 from Robbie Ray. Another fastball misses.
I think Justin Upton, fairly or unfairly, has been one of those guys throughout his career because he has such amazing physical gifts, and he's a 5-tool guy. You expect so much more from him.
Yeah, that's fair. First overall pick in the draft by the D-backs in 05.
I mean, Diamondbacks fans, they've all seen him hit 500-foot home runs. They've seen him go first to home plate on a base hit to the outfield. They've seen him make great catches and great throws. And you come to expect it every time the ball is hit his direction or thrown his direction.
Goldie playing behind the runner. Castellanos at first. 2 outs, 3-2. Here it is. There goes Castellanos, and it's in the dirt. And now Robbie is really working through a long first inning here.
Oh, what a difference. We talked about his last time out against the Nationals. Struck out the first 5 batters he faced and was just loading up that strike zone with everything he threw. Really struggling to find it here in the early going.
26 pitches, 13 balls, 13 strikes. A run is in, 2 on and 2 out. And here's the right fielder, Mikey Matsut, 182 with a homer. Castellanos at second and Upton at first. Fastball's in there, and it's 0-1. Matsuk just 15 games with the Tigers this year. We saw him here last season when he was with Tampa Bay. Traded by the Rays to Detroit in January for a player to be named who turned out to be a minor leaguer. It's a pretty deep right center. A.J. Pollock is over there, and he's got it. Robbie Ray strands 2, but the Tigers get 1. Diamondbacks coming up against Justin Verlander. Castellanos single. Tigers have the early lead. For your Ram truck starter, the right-hander Justin Verlander. He led the American League in strikeouts last year, but this year the strikeouts down a bit. The walks are up considerably, in fact.
Yeah, he's walked 6 batters in one game, coming off a 4-walk outing last time out. Fastball, curveball, slider combination from Verlander. He throws an occasional straight changeup, and we're told by Rod Allen, our buddy on Tigers TV right next door, that he's throwing something that looks like a cut fastball, but he calls it a slider, so we'll keep an eye out for that one in the low 90s.
Starting lineup for the Diamondbacks, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealer.
A.J. Pollock in center, David Peralta in right field, Paul Goldschmidt at first base, Jake Lamb at third. Yasmani Tomas out in left field, Brandon Drury at second base, Chris Owings his double play partner at shortstop, Jeff Mathis doing the catching, and Robbie Ray on the mound.
There's a strike to A.J. at 94 from Verlander. Pollock 297 and 2 home runs. A.J. on the road trip against the Nationals and the Rockies, only 4 for 23. He's been hitting a lot more than his share of ground balls lately. 1-1. Trying to get this offense going. It was a pretty slow offensive weekend at Coors Field. 1 run on 7 hits Saturday, 2 runs on 3 hits on Sunday. Fastball away, missed. It's 2-1. Velocity's been very strong for Justin Verlander in his recent starts, consistently 95. Ranking near the top of all starting pitches over the last few weeks in terms of that velo. Spots that one well at 95, and it's 2-2. He's been mixing in his curveball and slider at nearly the same rate off that fastball. You'll rarely see a changeup. It's very occasional. Peralta on deck. Working down and away with that fastball at 97 that time. It stays 2-2.
There's no question Justin Verlander is a workhorse out there on the mound for Brad Osmussen, the Tigers, but he threw 119 pitches 2 starts ago against Seattle, 118 in his last time out against the Cleveland Indians. So see if they might try to shorten him up if the game situation calls for it tonight.
Coming off a win over Cleveland in that previous start. That was last Tuesday in Detroit. 7 innings, gave up only 2 runs on 4 hits. Here's the Verlander curveball. It missed inside, and A.J.'s worked it full 3-2. Not able to check his swing. There's that pitch you mentioned, Bobby. It's almost too fast to be a slider. I don't think he wants to call it a cutter, but this is the pitch.
That's a cutter. You can call it whatever you want, but that's basically a cut fastball. Just hold the ball a little bit off center. It's not a legitimate slider that has a lot of downward movement. It's kind of a flat fastball that just has a little cutting action away from the righty.
For whatever reason, he does not like to use the term cut fastball.
How about that?
David Peralta.
Tell you what, if he throws it right there, he can call it a dinner roll if he wants to. Nobody's going to be able to hit that pitch.
297 and 3 home runs. Well, if you consistently throw that straight 4-seamer in the same spot at 97 or so, and then throw a cutter at 91 that tails away from the right-hand hitter, that's got to be pretty effective.
Oh, yeah.
We just saw that.
I mean, he'll get his share of swings and misses on that pitch. He'll also get what Zach Greinke looks for, that weak contact. Just enough movement to get the ball off the barrel.
Well, David trying to get it going. The flu bug really washed out much of his road trip. He only managed 9 at bats, went without a hit on the trip. But he's ahead here in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Hard fastball, 2-2. The last 11 balls David Peralta has put into play have been ground balls. That's the longest active ground ball streak in the majors. That's not a list that you want to be on or lead.
No.
So he's really struggled lately to make solid contact and drive the ball like we know he can. Chases a fastball up and out of the zone for a strikeout. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. That's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Left to right to be Justin Upton, Andrew Romine, and Mikey Matuk in the outfield. Nick Castellanos at third base, Jose Iglesias at shortstop, Dixon Machado at second, Big Miguel Cabrera over at first base with James McCann doing the catching for right-hander Justin Verlander.
Machado at second, almost directly behind the bag for Goldie. Bases empty, 2 down. A lot of room on that right-hand side for Goldie. He comes into tonight hitting .316 with 7 homers. Here's a look. You see Machado, the second baseman, right behind the bag. That's out of play. Paul was 0 for 4 Sunday in the loss at Colorado. That snapped a 6-game hitting streak. Lays off that fastball, and it's 2-1. Goldie, the best hitter in baseball this year on inside fastball. So it'll be interesting to see if Verlander brings that 95-mile-an-hour heater inside against Goldie. So far, staying away. Missed at 97, and it's 3-1. Jake Lamb on deck. Not much payoff in trying to challenge Paul Goldschmidt. Verlander's too smart for that.
Remember the young man we had behind home plate last year with the big sign, pitch to Goldie or throw him strikes? I forget what the sign said, but just trying to bait the opposing pitchers into challenging Goldie.
There's that little cutter slash slider. Breaking away from the right-hand hitter from the right-hand pitcher. It's a full count, 3-2. James McCann behind the plate. Goldie lays off at 97, works a 2-out walk. Here's Jake Lamb. 263 and 7 homers. Quiet road trip for Jake. Only 3 hits in starting all 6 games, but he did homer twice in Washington.
The strikeouts really starting to pile up for Jake Lamb. 42 on the season going into play tonight.
And you can see the defensive adjustment from the Tigers. Verlander throws over to first base more than any pitcher in the game. He will control the running game.
And given the fact the Diamondbacks have such an explosive running game, he might throw over even more often tonight.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that quick move right there, and Goldie is just back in time. He's got a very good move over there. That was interesting. He threw a changeup the first time over to first. That was a fastball.
Yeah. He's got quick feet out there. We're told he's relatively slow to home plate, but he's got a good quick pickoff move to first.
Here it is again. Fastball missed into Jake Lamb, and it's 1-0. As you mentioned, Bob, the strikeouts have been a problem for Lamb lately. 11 punch outs and 19 at bats on that road trip. Swing and a miss. A rare changeup from Verlander, and it's 1-1. One thing that Jake has done very well lately, lay off the high fastball. And that's where Verlander likes to get a lot of his swings and misses. Jake has been among the best in the league at not chasing that pitch, well below league average. And it's become a 20-pitch first for Verlander on this Teal Tuesday. Here's a good example. Lays off the high fastball, and he's ahead in the count 2-1. All kinds of room on the left-hand side for Lamb. '96 up and in. 3-1. Verlander's third 3-ball count in this inning. .22 pitches and more balls than strikes. Yasmani Tomas would be next. .3-1 is up again. Lamb lays off that high fastball. Back-to-back 2-out walks for the Diamondbacks. Well, as you always say, make it hurt. And here's Yasmani Tomas. 263 and 5 home runs.
2 quick punch outs to start the game, and then 2 lengthy at bats that resulted in a base on balls. A chance to at least tie the game up here with a base hit by Yasmani.
Goldie at second and Lamb at first. McCann wants to run through some signs.
Yeah, runners at first and second. In the event of a double steal, he wants to let everybody know where he's going to throw the ball, either to third base, second base, or possibly just hold it.
Drops a first pitch curveball in there. It's 0-1. Yasmani, as he steps in here, stuck in a 4 for 30 at the plate with 11 strikeouts. He was 1 for 13 on the last road trip. Fastball up and away at 98. Tomas lays off. It's 1-1. Last 6 balls that Tomas has put into play have been ground balls, so he's not making solid contact like he's capable of doing. 2 on and 2 out. Foul back, and it's 1-2 again. 98 from Verlander.
That was so odd to see in Colorado, a place where you expect to see the ball hit in the air and carry a long way. The Diamondbacks offensively against the 2 Tylers, Anderson and Chatwood, just couldn't get the ball in the air.
It was a lethargic weekend for the offense. That's for sure, especially in that ballpark. This is where Yasmani is susceptible to that fastball out of the zone. He tends to chase those pitches, especially in 2-strike counts. He's off a breaking ball. Really working into a long inning after Verlander punched out the first 2 he faced. Brandon Drury on deck. Another good take by Yasmani, not biting on those curveballs away from Verlander. And that's the 4th 3-ball count in 5 hitters. This will get the runners started. Goldie at second, Lamb at first. 2 outs, 3 balls, and 2 strikes. Here it is. Here go the runners. Tomas hits a bouncer to second. Machado backs up and throws him out. Verlander really had to work, but he strands a pair of 2-out walks. D-backs down 1-0. Nothing. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on your TV, stream them live on your mobile device. With Fox Sports Go, it's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. The catcher James McCann leads off the second. Robbie Ray, a leadoff walk to Andrew Romine. Romine advanced on a wild pitch, then scored on a Nicholas Castellanos RBI single, the only run of the game so far. You see McCann there. 6 of his 10 hits this year have been home runs. He's only hitting a .149, but he's got power. And he's another one of these big catchers. We just saw Matt Wieters in Washington. McCann checks in at 6'2", 210. Second round pick 6 years ago out of the University of Arkansas. He's a Razorback. Fastballs in there. Robbie's ahead 1-2.
Definitely like to see that fastball command improve here. From this point forward, only half of his fastballs in that first inning found the strike zone. 9 out of 18.
This is drilled to deep right center field. And gone. McCann just homered Sunday in their loss at Oakland. He's got another home run right here. That's his 7th, and it's 2-0 Detroit. He's got 11 hits this year. 7 of them are home runs.
Second baseman, number 49.
I believe his home run in Oakland the other day came to just about the same place, just to the right of straightaway center field. Big, strong kid, doesn't have to pull the ball to do damage, as he demonstrates right here.
Dixon Machado, the second baseman, takes a breaking ball for strike one. There's James McCann. Machado hits a rocket foul down the left field line, and there is Skip. Don't call me Mitch Miller, who whiffed on that one. Or a Golden Glover down the left field line. That's a rookie mistake. There is George Skywalker, our Golden Glover down the right field line. 0-2 on Machado. Can't check his swing, and Robbie Ray gets his 3rd strikeout.
This is always interesting to watch an American League pitcher taking at bat. Justin Verlander 1 for 5 lifetime with a couple of punch outs as a hitter.
Well, we know he's a hitter. Greinke will pitch the opener of the game of the series against the Pittsburgh Pirates here on Thursday. We've got a big pitching matchup tonight with Verlander and Ray. Thursday's a good one. Greinke and Garrett Cole, first of 4 against the Buccos. Well, so far it's advantage Robbie Ray.
Just wants to get back in the dugout in one piece.
There's Ian Kinsler, the former Sun Devil, one-time Sun Devil. A late scratch. He's missed their last 4 games now with a hamstring problem. And Verlander strikes out. Here's Romine, who walked and scored to lead off the ball game.
Center fielder, Andrew Romine.
Chris Owings is there, but James McCann hits his 7th home run this year. D-backs now trail at 2-0.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-a-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Well, James McCann's homer has made it 2-0 Detroit. Brandon Drury, Chris Owings, and Jeff Mathis 6, 7, and 8. 2 up here in the Diamondbacks second against Justin Verlander, who struck out 2 and walked 2 in his first inning. Brandon 297 and a homer. Under the weather for much of the last road trip. He was 3 for 16 on the trip thanks to the flu bug. Verlander got erratic there in the first inning. 29 pitches and more balls than strikes so far. First pitch curveball missed. It's 1-0. Brandon Drury likes the home cooking. He'll be glad to be back here at Chase Field. This year, .431 at home, $1.60 on the road. And since last year's All-Star break, he's got a batting average here at Chase Field of .389. That's the best in baseball for your home field over that span. Drives it to right. Matuk is there, though. Allowed out number 1.
Good approach. We talk about it all the time. You can't control results. All you can do is get a good pitch, try to put a good swing on it, barrel it up somewhere, and that's exactly what Brandon Drury did that at bat. Unfortunately, right at the Tiger right fielder.
Seems like we've had a bunch of those lately.
And then it gets a little frustrating as an offensive player. You get tired of going back to the dugout and hearing guys say, "Hey, stay right there. You're good. You know, you're hitting line drives at people. You can't do anything about that." But you're a hitter. You're a competitor. You want to get your base hits. You want to get on base, make things happen, score some runs.
And you won't find too many people more competitive than Brandon Drury. And like Drury, Chris Owings had a bout with the flu bug on the road trip, but still CO managed 5 hits in 5 games on the trip, including a home run at Nats Park last week in Washington. That curveball got away from Verlander a bit, and Owings is ahead 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, those are 3 sad words for a hitter coming back to the dugout. Hang with him. Hang with him.
Look at the look on his face.
Tired of hanging with him.
That is the tired of hanging with him look. A little late on that fastball, and it's 2-2. The catcher Jeff Mathis on deck. Chase Field could be a dangerous park in which to pitch for Justin Verlander. He does not get very many ground ball outs. Even fewer lately, in fact, for some reason. Balls hit off him. A lot of fly balls, a lot of line drives. He pitches in a big park himself at Comerica Park in Detroit. Trying to front door that curveball and missed. It's another full count, 3-2. Already the 4th 3-2 count of the ball game for Justin Verlander. Five 3-ball counts, 4 3-2 counts. And Owings rolls one into right. First base hit for the Diamondbacks, a 1-out single for CO.
Another good approach on a pitch working away from him. That's that not a cutter. Up and out over the plate. CO stays right on it, finds that hole on the right side of the infield.
Jeff Mathis, 127 and a homer. And again, Verlander throws over there more than any pitcher in baseball. Jeff started Friday's win at Coors Field, Colorado, behind the plate. Went 1 for 4 with a double. Verlander 40 pitches, 21 balls. And he's walked 2 and struck out 2 so far. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Well, he's really mixing things up. We've seen the curveball, we've seen the slider, we've seen the fastball, we've even seen a changeup, we've seen that pitch that's not a cutter. That's 5 right there. All to the first 8 batters of the ball game. There's that quick move to first.
What's really effective about that quick move, other than the speed with which he gets the ball over to first base, is that he'll throw at any time. Some pitchers have to come up into the set position before they even think about throwing to first base. Verlander will throw on the way up. He'll throw after he comes set. He'll throw as he's just standing there getting the sign. You never know when he's going to snap that throw over to first base.
Just got a piece. McCann can't hang on back there. Robbie Ray, the pitcher, on deck. One and 2 to Jeff Mathis. Another throw over there. Justin Verlander has been a Rookie of the Year. He's been a 6-time All-Star. He's been an American League MVP and Cy Young winner. He's also twice been a Cy Young runner-up, including last year when he led the league in strikeouts. And he's got another strikeout right there. His 3rd of the ball game, 2 down.
Yeah, you mentioned that 2011 season for Verlander when he won the American League Cy Young and MVP in that same season. He went 24-5 with an ERA of 2.4. Here's the amazing number. He struck out 250 batters, walked only 57.
How about that? He has led the league in strikeouts 4 times in his career. Owings at first, 2 down for Robbie Ray, with a lofty .455 batting average. Leading the league.
Boat racing the rest of the pitchers in the National League.
Robbie Ray spent 1 year in the Tigers system. He was drafted by the Nationals. Dealt to Detroit before the 2014 season, part of a trade for Doug Fister. And made 9 appearances as a 22-year-old rookie with the Tigers, 6 starts. And then 1 year later, Detroit traded Robbie here to the Diamondbacks, part of a 3-team deal that sent Didi Gregorius to the Yankees. 1 and 2. So he wasn't in Detroit a whole long time, just 1 season. Which is either coincidental or ironic, considering his 2 starts ago he's pitching against the Nationals, the team that drafted him. So it's sort of like the Robbie Ray reunion tour here.
Trip down memory lane.
There's a strikeout. 4th of the game for Verlander. Diamondbacks trail Detroit 2-0.
Freight train.
Loud, high energy. He likes to talk a lot. A loud wannabe leader.
He's the team DJ.
He loves looking in the mirror, checking out himself.
Try to stay away from him so he doesn't annoy me by talking too much.
So you better have your headphones or a good book to read or something to get away from the noise.
David Peralta, always a highlight and the energy provider here on the Diamondbacks, certainly. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good, according to his teammates.
And apparently a noisemaker. Yeah, every team has one of those guys. You need a guy like that. Just constantly stir it up, make sure things don't get too complacent in that clubhouse or in the dugout.
Shortstop Jose Iglesias leads it off.
You need the noise-canceling headphones, according to Archie.
Come in handy. Iglesias struck out his first time up. Iglesias is a superb defensive shortstop. That's always been his calling card, but the offense sometimes comes and goes. His on-base percentage this year is under .260, but he's had some pretty solid offensive seasons before. Just not very consistent. Little squib shot to first. Goldie's going to have to hustle, and he beats him to the bag for the first down. Time now, BB, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Oh, we had to work for this one. Crouching Tiger, hidden D-back.
Whoa, this is going to take some explanation.
Crouching Tigers, as you mentioned earlier, they got walked off back-to-back games in Oakland before coming here to the Valley, so they're a little down. They're crouching. And the Diamondbacks, the hidden part of the D-backs is the offense. 205 on the road this year, but they're hitting 301 here at Chase Field. 25 home runs here at home, only 14 on the road, so I think we found the offense here.
Crouching Tiger, hidden D-back. Your staff really did a tremendous job there. Here's Cabrera. Another first pitch curveball from Robbie. It's 0-1. Cabrera struck out his first time up. Miguel Cabrera in his age 34 season, he's got more than 2,500 career hits and exactly 450 home runs. He's 2 home runs behind Carl Yastrzemski for 37th on the all-time list. Seems to be a certain first ballot Hall of Famer. 5 years ago he won the Triple Crown, first guy to do that since Yaz in '67. And that led to the first of his back-to-back American League MVP awards. 4 batting titles, 7 Silver Sluggers, 11 All-Star games. Won a World Series as a rookie with the '03 Marlins.
And a lot of questions about Cabrera early in the season. His first 8 games this season, he hit only 107. People were saying maybe this is it, maybe this is the beginning of the end, but in the 13 games since then, he's hit .367 with 7 extra base hits, driven in 12.
That fastball got away from Robbie. Full count, 3-2. Yeah, went down late last month with that groin problem. And he's done nothing but hit since he's come back. He's got a 6-game hitting streak coming into tonight. Full count, 3-2. Launches that one toward the left field foul pole, and it is foul.
Whew. Breathe.
How about this? 15 seasons among active players. He is either first, second, third, or fourth in all these major offensive categories.
I don't know if there's been a more consistent hitter than Miguel Cabrera over the course of his career.
Great call.
Puts up the steady numbers every year. You can write him in when you break camp in spring training, and he will be within a few points of whatever you predict coming out of spring training.
One more time on 3-2. And check his swing on that slider, down and away in the dirt. And Robbie Ray has his 5th strikeout.
Couldn't check that time. It looked like that slider was going to work its way back to the middle of the plate, and by the time Cabrera realized it was going to pot him out in the dirt, he couldn't hold up.
Well, Robbie is now retired 5 in a row since the McCann homer. He struck out 3 the last 5 he's faced. Here's Nicholas Castellanos, whose RBI single in the first gave the Tigers a 1-0 lead. First pitch swing, and that's a foul ball. Adam Homari down there at third. 50 pitches now for Robbie Ray, 32 for strikes. Cabrera so far 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs. Castellanos is a good line drive hitter. 10 doubles, 3 triples this year. Yesterday, an updated list of baseball's hard hit leaders was released, and Castellanos has the 2nd highest percentage of hard hit balls in the majors, behind only Ryan Zimmerman. So he can barrel it up. And that is measured by the percentage of at-bats ending with hard hit balls based on video review. Goldie, by the way, ranked 9th on that list. The highest rated Diamondback. Two and two. Justin Upton on deck. Lays off the slider in the dirt. Full count, 3-2. That looked like that same pitch on which he struck out Cabrera on a 3-2 count. Went back to it. Oh, went to the curveball that time. Got him. 6 strikeouts for Robbie Ray, but he trails it 2-0.
For 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Robbie Ray and pitching coach Mike Butcher. Robbie tonight has walked 2, struck out 6. He struck out 4 the last 6 he's faced, in fact. A.J. Pollock leads off the bottom of the 3rd against Justin Verlander. Verlander so far 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. AJ strikeout victim his first time up. Pollock is not a guy who fails to hit hard fastballs. He's able to barrel up a 94, 95 with the best hitters in the game. Squibs one foul and it's 0-2. Broken bat. "50 pitches for Verlander, 28 for strikes. Knocks it down the right field line. Drops in for a base hit. Matuk able to cut it off, and AJ's into second with his 12th double. Second hit for the Diamondbacks.
We're watching James McCann give the signs back there. Verlander shook to get to a changeup after throwing a fastball in the inside corner that broke AJ's bat. That seems a little counterintuitive. If you're throwing fastballs that a guy can't catch up to, you shouldn't change speeds and throw him something slower that he can catch up to.
Peralta struck out his first time up. And a tapper that backs up Verlander has got no chance to get Pollock, who's into third. Tried to look AJ back to the bag, but AJ was already halfway to third base.
Yeah, he got a great jump. He saw that ball banged off the hard dirt in front of home plate, took that high first bounce, and AJ was off like a shot to third. Certainly not what David was looking for right there, but it does move AJ Pollock to third base with 1 out in the inning.
And the hitter is Paul Goldschmidt, who walked his first time up. Goldie with runners in scoring position this year, nearly a .420 hitter. And again, they leave a lot of room on the right side of the infield for Goldie. Curveball away, missed, 1-0. In there for a strike at 97, 2-1. And again, Goldie, who has just been hammering inside fastballs, getting nothing in from Verlander. Everything's down and away or up. Base hit. Diamondbacks on the board. RBI single for Paul Goldschmidt. It's a 2-1 ball game. All that room was wide open for him. And AJ trots home from third.
Goldie is such a good student of hitting. He knows where the weaknesses in the defense are, and if he gets a pitch to hit that direction, that's what he's looking for. Gets that fastball up and out over the plate, stays right down the barrel of the bat, watches that ball rip through the right side for an RBI base hit.
Jake Lamb now. Jake walked his first time up against Verlander. And he will not bite on those high fastballs. He hasn't yet tonight.
With Goldie's RBI single into right field, he's now 5 of his last 7 with runners in scoring position. Unfortunately, there haven't been many D-backs in scoring position for him.
Yeah, certainly not over the weekend at Coors. Lamb hits one high in the air. deep left center. Upton's at the wall, and it just does stay in the yard. Goldie heads up and runs into second. Jake gave it a ride, but it died at the warning track.
It was an alert base running play by Goldie. Saw this ball hit high in the air to left field. Upton was already back to the barrier. It was either going to be a home run or he was going to catch it right in front of the fence. And so Goldie goes back, realizes that, tags up, and gets himself into scoring position here with 2 outs.
Yasmani Tomas. Yasmani grounded out to second base his first time up. D-backs had 2 on and 2 out in that spot. That ended the first inning. There's a Tapper foul. Now they'll get the tying run in scoring position in the third. Yasmani's been scuffling lately. 4 for his last 31 up there. Here's the throw from Upton, and it is not in time. We're tied. Yasmani Tomas El Tanque. It's a 2-2 ball game. Looked like the throw beat him, but the plate umpire Bill Miller says safe. Brad Ausmus wants to have a look.
Very aggressive send by Tony Perez-Chica. Got a foot on the plate before that tag.
That angle, Verlander was covering home plate, kind of blocked it. Let's see here. I think the foot is in there.
It was very close. Good slide by Goldie to try to keep his body as much away from McCann as he possibly could and just reach that left foot out there for the corner of the plate.
And the headsets will come on. You can't see definitively where the foot is. You can't use that angle. You need clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call on the field, which was safe. So unless you have a definitive angle that shows him out, and we haven't seen one yet. No.
Confidence is high. He's safe at home plate.
All right, I like it. I hope so for Yasmani Tomas' sake as well, because as we said, Yasmani's been struggling a bit lately. That was a clutch hit against a very good pitcher. Now, of course, in New York, they may have an angle that we don't have. They can use all the camera angles from our broadcast and the Tigers broadcast. Tigers TV working the game just to our left here. So unless Detroit has an angle that we don't have, these two are synced up frame for frame. Both times where the foot is on the plate is blocked. And he's in there. So we're tied at 2. A 2-out RBI hit for Yasmani Tomas. He takes second on the throw. Verlander now at 60 pitches, 35 strikes, and here's Brandon Drury.
Yeah, tip of the cap to Yasmani, not only for the RBI base hit, but for being aware enough to keep running and get himself into scoring position with 2 outs.
Brandon hit the ball hard, but right at right fielder Mikey Matsuk his first time up. There's that pitch that's not a cutter. It's 1-0. Brandon, when he's swung and missed this year, most often it comes on low fastballs. He's been missing those pitches. And it's just about twice the league average. There it is again. He doubled up with that pitch. Brandon does a great job of getting to the breaking ball down low. But the fastball down there has been a weak spot. Tomas, the go-ahead run at second, 2 outs. One and two. Verlander is averaging more than 20 pitches per inning at this pace. Tigers bullpen is just so-so. They just changed closers. K-Rod blew a couple of saves in Oakland over the weekend. Now Justin Wilson, the left-hander, is the closer. It was a rough weekend for Francisco Rodriguez against the Gays. Detroit lost Saturday and Sunday on walk-offs. Brian Osmus this afternoon told the media that he was switching closers. 2-2 to Brandon Drury.
Part of the problem for Francisco Rodriguez is that fastball velocity has dropped to the point where there's not a lot of difference between his fastball and his changeup anymore, and that's his bread and butter pitch.
He's been doing it for a long time, K-Rod. Drury hits one deep right center. And one hops the wall. Tomas will score. RBI double for Drury. And the Diamondbacks with 3 in the third take a 3-2 lead. A pair of 2-out RBI hits against Justin Verlander. That's twice, Bob, that Drury has barreled it up.
Stick with the program. Driving the ball to the opposite field. He didn't get rewarded in his first at bat when he lined out to Matuk in right field, but this time stays on another pitch on the outer third of the plate and finds that gap in right center.
Let's keep it going. Here's Chris Owings, who singled in his first at bat. Boy, Verlander's throwing a ton of pitches here.
And this has to be uncharted territory for Justin Verlander this season. Opposing hitters with runners in scoring position were 4 for 33 coming into play tonight, a 121 average.
Base hits by 4 of the last 6 Diamondback hitters. Pollock double, Goldie the RBI single, Tomas the RBI single, Drury the RBI double. Big curveball in, and it missed. It's 1-1. Chris Owings hitting .480 this year with runners in scoring position. That is the best batting average in the major leagues with runners in scoring position. .480 in these situations. Duck and cover. Another one gets away. The curveball from Verlander, and CO's ahead 2-1. Now it's Manny Tomas, a clutch 2-out RBI single, scored on the Drury double. Verlander approaching 70 pitches for the ball game through 2 2/3. CO can't catch up to the fastball, and it's 2-2. Tough play for Iglesias, charges and throws him out. But the Diamondbacks down 2-0, get 3, and they lead the Tigers 3-2. Goldie an RBI single. Tomas an RBI single. Drury knocks in a run with a double. 3-2 Diamondbacks. Coyotes at Gila River Arena for their annual Select a Seat open house from 2:30 to 4 p.m. Fans can secure savings on 2017-18 season tickets and take a tour of the locker room. You can play ball hockey with some of the Coyotes, meet Howler and the Paw Patrol. For all the info, visit ArizonaCoyotes.com. Peralta runs that down just shy of the wall out there. ArizonaCoyotes.com or call 480-563-PUCK. 480-563-PUCK.
Right fielder Mikey Motto.
I believe Puck was a character on the Real World show back in the day on the MTV.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
He was not a good roommate from what I remember. Mikey Matuk. 7 straight now set down by Robbie Ray since the McCann homer in the second. That made it 2-0 Tigers.
Yeah, Robbie's starting to get a better handle on that breaking pitch. Usually when he racks up big strikeout totals, it's on that high 4-seam fastball. Gets a lot of swings and misses and check swings on pitches up in the zone. Today it's been the breaking ball. 5 of his 6 strikeouts have come on breaking balls, 4 on sliders and 1 on a curveball.
Well, Robbie in that 1 inning got more run support than he'd had in his 2 previous starts combined. And now he leads at 3-2. There's a fly ball to right for David Peralta. 2 down.
Hey fans, MLB.tv Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
2 outs on 5 pitches in the inning for Robbie Ray. He's set down 8 in a row since McCann homered to lead off the second, and here he is again. 11 hits this season, 7 of them are home runs for James McCann. And a home run Sunday in their loss at Oakland. And Homer had been his only hit in 19 at bats. 1 for 1 so far tonight. It's a nice stretch here we're on starting tonight for the Diamondbacks. They'll play their next 9 games and 12 of their next 15 here at Chase Field. D-backs are 12-5 in their home park this year under Torey Lovullo. 3rd best home record in the majors. Robbie looking for his 2nd straight 1-2-3 inning. This is the D-backs' first meeting with the Tigers since they were here in July of 2014, so it's been nearly 3 years. D-backs will go to Comerica Park for 2 games in June, coming up next month. Missed with a fastball, and it's 3-2. Good to be back home. Roof is open on a very cool, comfortable night here. Outfield panels are closed. Did you enjoy the nice weather, or were you too busy arranging tickets for your buddies at the deli? Your Detroit crew is here tonight, right?
I took care of the boys a long time ago. They circled this 2-game series on the calendar way before spring training.
So you've been hearing about this one for a while.
Oh yeah. I went over there to get the paper this morning, and they already had their Tigers gear on. He had his Tigers hat on.
Gotta go get the papers. Get the papers. 3rd walk for Robbie Ray. Here's Dixon Machado, the 2nd baseman.
Second baseman.
I thought maybe, you know, we come to the booth, there'd be all these deli meats here or something, so we'd have a big spread.
I'll have to talk to him about that. I imagine it depends on who wins these 2 games.
Oh well, that's a fair point. Fair point. Bounce to third. Jake Lamb throws him out. Diamondbacks lead it 3-2.
Diamondbacks with the 3-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the fourth over the Tigers, and these are some flashback highlights. Torey Lovullo was drafted by the Tigers back in 1987, made his debut 1 year later, getting his first major league hit in late September of 1988 in his first major league at bat, and he says he has a lot of appreciation for the franchise. And he also said that he played for the best man in the game, who also happened to be his first manager, Sparky Anderson. He said Sparky taught him the importance of family, both in the clubhouse and away from the field. He said that Sparky just really knew how to strike the balance of putting baseball and priorities in life in the right order. He said he knew how to prioritize, but then when it was innings 1 through 9, he was one of the most fierce competitors. Guys?
Well, Kirk Gibson was the same way. Gibby just adored Sparky, learned so much from him as a major league skipper. Here's Jeff Mathis. A little flare to shallow right center. Matzo comes in on the way.
My lasting memory of Sparky Anderson is every spring training there was a guy. If you don't like this guy,
well, 1 year it was Torey.
Yeah. If you don't like Torey Lovullo, you don't like baseball. Every year there was somebody in spring training that caught his eye and became a focus of his attention throughout spring training.
I think 1 year Bobby Higginson was going to win the Triple Crown. Torey was going to be the next Al Kaline. Robbie Ray struck out his first time up. Verlander so far has walked 2, struck out 4. Golfs one up the middle. Iglesias behind the bag. Boy, he can really pick it down there. Tricky throw across his body to get Robbie Ray.
And did he cover a lot of ground that time? That ball went right over the rubber on the mound. Iglesias goes way up the middle of the field and makes that off-balance throw as his momentum is carrying him out to right and puts it right on the money to first base. Nice play.
Well, AJ got the Diamondbacks started in that 3-run third. A double to lead off the inning. His 12th of the year. Scored on a Goldie RBI single. Goldie came home on a Yasmani Tomas RBI single. Tomas scored on a Drury double. Diamondbacks were down 2-0. They now lead it 3-2. Dodgers are home tonight against the Pirates. No score in the 4th inning of that ball game. Giants lost again. Mets beat them at Citi Field in New York 6-1. And the Cubbies, after that long game Sunday night, boy, broadcasting that game must have really been difficult for those that were in the booth. They got a lucky break when their game got knocked out yesterday at Coors Field, but they're playing 2 today. Yes, he went, says Kerwin Danley. Verlander works a 1-2-3-4. Diamondbacks lead the Tigers 3-2. Lead the Tigers 3-2 as we start the 5th inning. D-backs fans, stop by your local Fry's food stores and stock up on your favorite Pepsi products using your VIP card. You'll earn D-backs rewards points. You could also win one of 6 suites to an upcoming Diamondback game, courtesy of Pepsi. See in-store display for official rules and details. You could win one of 6 suites.
Sweet.
So you can't. This just happens organically. You can't write this. Justin Verlander leads off the 5th inning against Robbie Ray. There's strike 1. Robbie so far has walked 3, struck out 6.
Boy, and since that James McCann home run, that was on the 32nd pitch of the ball game for Robbie Ray. 6 of the next 9 outs on 3 pitches or fewer.
Wow. After he really struggled with a long 1st inning in which he walked 2, including the leadoff man who scored. Really settling in, doing that thing with his lips again. Make it 7 strikeouts for Robbie Ray. 1 down in the 5th.
Hey fans, the day after every Diamondbacks win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com. Yeah, we're back home again now. We can start piling up the fast food trifectas.
Nice. Andrew Romine walked and scored to lead off the ball game. Lined out to shortstop his last time out. Watch Robbie with these his lip thing right there. I think it's kind of like a relaxation type of deal. Sort of centers himself just before he starts his windup. He'll do that lip flap.
Didn't do it that time.
And he threw a ball.
Yeah, see.
Here it is.
And super slow.
He's got that, and he's got the grunt. He's already walked Romine once. Behind here, 3-0. Andrew Romine, 8 years in the big leagues. Jose Iglesias on deck. He's got a career batting average of just over 240. And he's given Robbie Ray's given him 2 free passes here tonight, a 1-out walk. Now 4 walks for Robbie.
Shortstop, Jose Iglesias.
Iglesias 0 for 2. Looking for the ground ball right here. Jose Iglesias, originally signed out of Cuba by the Red Sox, broke into the big leagues with Boston, but was traded to Detroit at the deadline 4 years ago. Part of a 3-team deal with the White Sox that brought Jake Peavy to Boston. And Iglesias has been their shortstop in Detroit.
We talked about this Tigers lineup earlier in the ball game. Not a lot of thunder at the top and certainly not a lot at the bottom of the order, but you have to be very careful with those guys in the middle, and one way to limit the damage they can do is don't put guys on base before the 3, 4, and 5 hitters come up.
And the other thing is, Romine and Iglesias, it's not like Mantle and Maris.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
You go right after those guys. If they beat you with the bat, then you tip your cap to them and do the best you can with those guys in the middle, but you don't want to put them on via the walk.
Well, this is where you want to have Iglesias. When he gets into 2 strike counts, he's been among the most aggressive hitters in the league. He'll chase a lot of pitches with 2 strikes. Trouble on deck. Cabrera. Robbie 80 pitches, 48 strikes. Gets jammed on the 2-strike pitch. Pops it up. It's trouble and it lands fair. One spot where none of the 3 Diamondbacks over there could get to it. A bloop single for Iglesias. And here comes Cabrera, 2 on, 1 out.
Well, you couldn't throw it out there any better than that.
Just the 3rd hit for the Tigers against Robbie Ray.
A little blooper right in on the hands of Iglesias that time. He just fights it off down that right field line. Nobody can get to the spot.
Well, here we go. Romine at second, Iglesias at first, 1 out. And here's Cabrera, who has struck out twice. They're positioning Yasmani Tomas in left field now. Dave McKay signaling from the dugout. They want Tomas closer to left center field for Cabrera. They give him the line. Fastball in, missed, and it's 1-0. Cabrera's not been pulling the ball a whole lot this year, which is one reason why Tomas was moved closer to left center field. He'll go to center and right center a lot. Nice block by Mathis. Romine stays put at second.
Spiked breaking ball. That time Mathis able to keep it in front, hold the runners at their bases, keep that double play in order.
Robbie's worked himself into a mess here. 2 on, 1 out behind on Cabrera, 2-0.
Good idea to have a conversation here. They're facing one of the best hitters in the game over the last 13 seasons. He's 3rd in homers, 1st in RBI, 1st in batting average, 3rd in OPS, and 2nd batting with runners in scoring position. This guy lives for these situations.
The 2-0 from Robbie Ray. Deep to center field. AJ backing up. He'll have to play it off the wall. Romine will score to tie the game. Iglesias gets the late stop sign at 3rd. Boy, Dave Clark almost had to tackle Iglesias there coming around 3rd. He did not want to stop, but Cabrera delivers the game's tying run.
Iglesias from his angle at first base had a much better look at this ball, and he realized immediately it was over the head of A.J. Pollock, so he was off like a shot from first base. Romine had to hold up momentarily. You can see Iglesias right on his tail, but Dave Clark throws up the late stop sign. And the Tigers have runners at second and third with 1 out in the inning.
Nicholas Castellanos, the hitter. Castellanos drove the game's first run with an RBI single in the first. The run is in, still just 1 out. Goes fishing for that slider. It's a ball and a strike. Castellanos really heating up lately. He's hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games. 5 doubles over that stretch. For the third, Iglesias back safely.
Nice effort right there. A little better throw. Maybe they get a chance at Iglesias down there at third base.
Twice Robbie Ray has walked Romine. Twice he's scored. It set up this big 5th inning for the Detroit. Blocks a slider in the dirt. 3-1 now. First base is open, but Justin Upton's on deck.
Mathis has been busy back there today, blocking, breaking balls in the dirt. Robbie Ray spiked a few fastballs in the dirt in the early going. Busy night for the D-backs catcher.
Iglesias at third, Cabrera at second. A run is in. He walked and the bases are loaded for Upton. 5th walk of the ball game, 2nd in this inning, issued by Robbie Ray.
Left fielder Justin Upton.
Come inside with a fastball just off the inside corner. Bill Miller's been giving a lot of room on the outside corner, but refuses to go off the inside corner.
Already a 21 pitch inning for Robbie. Bases full of Tigers, only 1 out. Here comes Mike Butcher.
You know, if you knew your pitcher Robbie Ray could get right back in the strike zone, that walk right there to Castellanos is not the worst thing that can happen. It does set up a potential double play to get him out of this inning, but he needs to get back in that strike zone, throwing quality strikes to Justin Upton, looking for that double play ball. That doesn't hit a lot of ground balls. On the list of home runs here at Chase Field, as you might imagine, Luis Gonzalez leads the list with 95, Steve Finley with 84, and then Justin Upton and Goldie tied with 71.
Iglesias at third, Cabrera at second, and Castellanos at first. 1 down, a run is in. Here's Upton. Bill Miller on the curveball, says strike 1. Upton not thrilled. Just about a .300 career hitter with the bases full, including 4 grand slams. Fastball missed up, 1-1.
It's the 23rd batter that Robbie Ray's faced in this ball game. He's had 8 3-ball counts.
He's walked 5 and struck out 7. Bullpen phone rings for the Diamondbacks. With Robbie now over 90 pitches, trying to survive this long fifth. The last 4 Tigers have reached. Check this swing. Did he go? No, he didn't, Kerwin Danley. 2 balls and 1 strike. And now this is where Upton really likes to turn it loose when he's ahead in the count. The left-hander T.J. McFarland warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. There's that aggressive swing. Robbie came at him with a slider, and it's 2-2.
I don't really mind when Justin Upton takes a big aggressive swing. I don't think he's at his best then. When he takes that real short, abbreviated backswing, almost stops his bat at the point of contact. That's when he really drives the ball.
Fastball up, and it's full 3-2. Mikey Matsuk would be next. Fingers crossed. (3-2) pitch to Justin Upton. Bases full. Got him. Went back to the slider. 8 strikeouts for Robbie Ray. That's a big out, number 2.
Another big swing from Upton this time. Little backdoor slider. Do it again. Whatever works.
And 1 more out to get here. Mikey Matsuk has twice flied out 0 for 2. Robbie gets ahead with a curveball. 0-1. McFarland continues to warm up in the D-back bullpen. The catcher McCann, who was homered and walked, is on deck. Fastball missed. A ball and a strike. Base hit to center. Iglesias scores. They wave Cabrera. The throw from Pollock is cut off. They've got Castellanos at third, and he's out. The 2 runs come in. The Tigers take a 5-3 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th.
At 5-3, time to take a look at this day in Major League Baseball history, brought to you by Geico. On this day in 1967, wearing his very familiar uniform number 9, Roger Maris hits his first National League home run.
St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Yeah, now here's the interesting part. After this pitch,
David Peralta looks at strike one.
Roger Maris wore number 9. He hit the home run on the 9th day of the month. It landed in seat 9 of section 9. I love numerical oddities.
You are the king of numerical oddities. A little one hopper to Machado at second. They retire Peralta to open up the 5th.
And I learned something about Roger Maris I did not know.
And what was that?
He was actually a member of the Cleveland Indians, and in 1958 he was traded to the Kansas City Athletics for one of my favorite Indians of all time, Woody Held.
Oh, that was your guy.
One of my guys, yeah.
Woody Held.
Woody Held. He was the, to the best of my knowledge, the first Major League Baseball player to ever play with a monobrow.
Was that by design, or just nobody had the heart to tell him?
Nature, you know.
Yeah, sure. Goldie has walked. He's got an RBI single and scored a run. Great eyebrows in baseball history. We could do that segment. That'd be good. High fly ball, deep center. Romine has room. 2 outs. 6 in a row set down by Verlander. Here's Jake Lamb. Iglesias, the shortstop, stays just about in his normal spot. Castellanos, the third baseman, in front of second base umpire Todd Tishner. Lamb has walked flat out 0 for 1. D-backs have already come back from a 2-0 deficit, or 2-run deficit, against Justin Verlander once tonight. Tigers led it 2-0. D-backs took a 3-2 lead. They had a 3-run third. Then Detroit gets a 3-run 5th. 3-0 on Lamb. Tomas on deck. Verlander tonight has walked 2, struck out 5. 3-0 fastballs in there. Didn't have to search hard for that one.
No, not at all. 3-0. Get it up there in the air, it's going to be called a strike.
Full count, 3-2. Struck him out. 6 strikeouts for Verlander. Comes up with his shutdown inning, a 1-2-3-5. Diamondbacks down 2. showstopper. Mike Scioscia. No, not him. It's Albert Pujols in Oakland tonight, and there it goes as Albert marches towards 600 career home runs. 596 for Pujols.
Boy, with the Angels wearing their red tops and the A's wearing their gold tops with the green socks, looks like a bag of Skittles out there. Look at that.
What do you got against Skittles? Our Ash line called to the bullpen. He's been used a lot lately. The left-hander T.J. McFarland, his 5th appearance, a 1.69 ERA. James McCann, who has homered and walked, will lead off the 6th. The Robbie Ray's night ends after 98 pitches in 5 innings. McFarland able to knock it down and recover and throws him out, but that was a rocket right back up the box, and it got him.
Diamondbacks training staff will check on McFarland. Look, ouch. They got him on the inside of the right leg, perhaps. Ryan DePanflo, the assistant trainer, out there to have a look, along with manager Torey Lovullo.
Now, when you look at that, keep this in mind. According to StatCast, that was 107 miles an hour that got him in the leg. He's coming out of the game, T.J. McFarland, after throwing only 1 pitch. Tom Wilhelmsen, the bartenders, started warming up. Now left to come into the ball game. We'll take a break from Chase. D-backs trailing 5-3. Before somebody caught his attention and ran all the way back to the bullpen. And now the left-hander Andrew Chafin. No, not you. They want the other guy, the lefty. So the bartender says, "Oh, my bad." He goes back to the bullpen, and Chafin, who had not thrown a warm-up pitch, will be out there, and he gets as long as he wants. But he's the guy who heats up very quickly.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I think what happened there, Tom Wilhelmsen was warming up in case they needed him in relief of T.J. McFarland at some point in the inning to play a matchup. You want a right-hander backing up your left-handed reliever, but now that you can choose your relief pitcher because of the injury to McFarland, they chose to go with Andrew Chafin instead.
Yeah, that's one thing that Torey really likes about Chafin, who's making his 14th appearance. It's 7 or 8 pitches, and he can get up very quickly if things get ugly. Oh, perfect time to take a look at the unlimited baseball break presented by T-Mobile. Mark Reynolds did it again. Another home run for the Rockies. They're playing a doubleheader today against the Cubs at Coors Field. So that's 4 straight games with a home run. The first 3 against the Diamondbacks. Cody Bellinger. Boy, this kid is making a lot of noise for the LA Dodgers National League Player of the Week. He hit 3 home runs last week and hit over 420. And everybody keeps waiting for the Cincinnati Reds to fall back, but they've won 8 of their last 10. They're only a game and a half back in the Central.
Still very early, but that's an early surprise, certainly, that the Reds are playing as well as they are. Another noteworthy accomplishment today. Eric Thames of the Milwaukee Brewers, who went into a little funk there for about a week, hit number 13 today to tie Aaron Judge and Ryan Zimmerman for the major league lead in homers.
Andrew Chafin continues his warm-up tosses. Diamondbacks trailed it 2-0 after the top of the second inning. Castellanos an RBI single in the first. McCann a solo homer in the second. But then the Diamondbacks got 3 in the bottom of the third against Justin Verlander. RBI hits by Goldie, Tomas, and Drury. D-backs had a 3-2 lead, but then a 30-pitch fifth inning for Robbie Ray. Things got ugly there. Romine had a 1-out walk. Iglesias singled. Cabrera had an RBI double. Castellanos walked, and then Matsut singled home 2. And so it's 5-3 Tigers.
Notable baseball birthdays today. The late Tony Gwynn would have been 57 years old today. Former Tiger Prince Fielder, 33 years old today. And our old buddy Brandon Webb celebrating a birthday today. I don't know if I want to tell people how old Webb is, but 38.
But you will.
I will.
Surprised Webby's not working on his birthday. His level of dedication.
Well, he's probably having a big fiesta somewhere. Taking the RV around the state.
So here we go. Dixon Machado, the second baseman, will face Andrew Chafin on in relief of TJ McFarland. Hopefully TJ's okay. Only threw 1 pitch. The pitcher Verlander is on deck. Wilhelmsen continues warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. That one goes through Mathis. It's 1-0. Machado, a late addition to the Tigers starting lineup. Ian Kinsler was scratched. He was in their original lineup. He's had a lingering hamstring issue. So Kinsler's missing his 4th game in a row. Machado just made his first career start at second base in their game at Oakland Sunday. 25-year-old from Venezuela.
Being told by our staff, we think, we're not sure, but we think that Webby might be stuck in Kentucky Derby traffic with his RV trying to get out of the parking lot.
He goes to that, doesn't he? He's one of those Derby people with the big hats. 3-1. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's always a great moment at any major league ballpark.
Comes to shortstop for Owens.
We were in Colorado when they ran the Derby, and everything stops at the ballpark. They put it up on the big screen, and the fans watch the race. The players stop on the field. Whatever they're doing, they watch the race.
That's how I've watched the last 5 Kentucky Derbies.
Yeah.
Sitting in the broadcast booth preparing for the game, and all of a sudden it pops up on the big scoreboard. Last 2 minutes, and everyone goes, all right, well, back to business.
Okay.
Here's Verlander. I had a sawbuck on Kaepernick.
I couldn't tell you the name of one horse that ran this year. You know, with Verlander here at the plate, I should correct myself. I said earlier he was 1 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts lifetime. That was just last year. His career numbers are worse. He was 3 for 37 coming into
Don't sugarcoat it now. Each team in the ball game with 5 hits. Each team has left 4 on base. Well, Chafin comes in, gets his 2 men, and keeps it a 5-3 Diamondback deficit. Bottom 6 coming up. Yasmani Tomas is set to lead off the home half of the 6th inning. Hey fans, Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. Spend time with mom at the ball game this weekend. Game Time versus the Pirates is $110. You can get that. Mother's Day clutch purse and a PetSmart gift card. Get your tickets dbacks.com. Diamondbacks and the Pirates, a 1:10 start coming up here at Chase Field on Mother's Day, which is Sunday. Well, Justin Verlander has really settled in. He's retired the last 7 he's faced. Verlander coming off an 8-pitch 4th inning and a 10-pitch 5th. He's given up 3 runs on 5 hits, walked 2 and struck out 6. Tomas, Drury, Owings 5, 6 and 7 for the Diamondbacks. Yasmani, a clutch 2-out RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Big loopy curveballs in there for strike 1.
It's amazing that Verlander gets the kind of break he does on that curveball. Going back to the 06 season, he was having some blister issues, and they discovered it was because of his curveball.
Tomas hits it in the air, center field. Romine is there.
So in an effort to eliminate the blister problems, instead of pulling down on the seams of the baseball, Justin Verlander holds the smooth part of the baseball when he throws his curve.
Why don't more guys do that?
I don't know. You know, if you look at a baseball, the way the seams are stitched onto the ball, it looks like there's a horseshoe. And the 2 sides of the horseshoe is where a pitcher usually tries to get the grip and really pull down on the side of the horseshoe. Get those 4 seams cutting through the air.
Brandon Drury, an RBI double his last time up. Drury knocks it to right center. That's going to get down and roll to the wall. Drury already with 1 double and make it 2. That's his 8th double this year.
We kind of joked that his first at bat in the ball game leading off the 2nd, that line drive to right field, was a hang with him. He hasn't had to hang with him his next 2 at bats, barreling up a couple balls to the gap in right center for back-to-back doubles.
Well, the Diamondbacks have had innings in which they've made Justin Verlander work. He had 29 pitches in the first, a 22-pitch 3rd when they scored 3 times. Now here in the 6th, a 1-out double for Drury brings up Chris Owings. With Verlander now over 90 pitches, Tigers bullpen is still quiet. CO is single, grounded out, 1 for 2. As Bob mentioned, Verlander is a workhorse. In his last start, he threw 118 pitches. That was a win over the Indians last Tuesday in Detroit. Went 7 innings in that game, gave up only 4 hits, although he did walk 4 in that ball game. He's walked 2 here tonight. Owings shows bunt, fouls it off.
What the defense gives you. Castellanos playing way back out there at 3rd base. Chris Owings noticed that out of the corner of his eye, tried to dump that base hit bunt down the 3rd baseline, unfortunately pushed it into foul territory.
Scott Mathis on deck, pitcher spot behind him. Gregor Blanco with a helmet on, bat in hand in the Diamondback dugout. Theo hits a fly ball right center field, backing up Matuk right near the track. He's got it, and Drury tags and heads for 3rd.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located here at Chase Field during any D-backs home game.
Jeff Mathis has struck out, flying out 0 for 2. Pitcher spot behind Mathis. Daniel Descalso is in the on deck circle. He would hit for Chafin. Brandon Drury at 3rd, 2 down. D-backs have out hit the Tigers 6-5, but they trail at 5-3. Jeff, from what we've seen so far, a lot of swings and misses, but every once in a while he'll barrel one up and drill it down the left field line. Fouled straight back, another fastball. It's 0-2. There's that pitch that's not a cutter. Jerry Nair and the bench coach on the right. Torey Lovullo, the skipper, on the left. Back to that same pitch, and it stays 1-2. Jeff Mathis has always been a glove first backup catcher type. Angels, Blue Jays, Marlins, now the Diamondbacks. Never had a season with at least 300 at bats. Ooh, able to check there. That's the third consecutive pitch on which he's thrown that not cutter. It's either a slow cutter or a hard slider.
Some guys call it a baby slider, but in effect it is a cut fastball. Whether he wants to admit that's what it is or not, that's what it is.
Pitch number 100 from Verlander on the way. Missed upstairs with a fastball at 99. And Mathis has worked at full 3-2 with Descalso on deck. 100 pitches, 63 strikes. And another hard fastball from Verlander strikes out Mathis. Drury stranded at third. It stays 5-3. Diamondbacks trail the Tigers 5-3. Fans plan to be here on Saturday, June 10th, when the Brewers come into town. First 20,000 fans get this D-backs pool towel. That's courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Now this is not a little, you know, sometimes you get these towels. It's like, you know, like a bad towel you get at the Y. This is the real deal. This is a full body, really soft towel. Perfect for poolside this summer. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. First 20,000 fans, June 10th against the Brewers. That's a Saturday. Yeah, this is quality.
That is nice.
What is that, velvet? That's nice. Andrew Chafin back out there to start the 7th. Andrew Romine first pitch swinging, hits a high hopper to Owens at shortstop, and they throw him out. Chafin's retired all 3 he's faced. Here's the shortstop, Jose Iglesias.
We have a double switch coming up here. Pitcher spot is due to lead it off in the bottom half of the 7th, and Torey Lovullo is going to make a change. And anytime you see the manager go directly to the home plate umpire before he goes to the mound, that's an indication he's going to make a double switch.
Tom Wilhelmsen has been warming up again down in the bullpen, and here comes the bartender. We'll take a break. Back from Chase Field after this. Tom Wilhelmsen is the new pitcher. Our Ash line call to the bullpen. The bartender's 16th appearance of the year. In fact, it's a whole new battery for the Diamondbacks as Chris Herman takes over behind the plate. He'll bat 9th, pitcher spot now 8th in the Diamondback order. Tigers shortstop is Jose Iglesias. He singled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 3. I do have a question for you.
What's that?
Who was modeling the pool towel that we just showed a moment ago?
I don't know.
Usually that's the lovely Vanessa or the lovely Mike. I was so busy reading the promo and trying to get the information correct, I didn't see.
Don't look behind the curtain.
Might have been Dennis Lamb, star of the Dennis Lamb Show. Right to Lamb. Diving play by Jake. 2 down.
Made even more difficult because he's playing in to take the bunt away from Iglesias, a possible bunt, and Iglesias instead tries to drive one past Jake Lamb at third. He's up to it this time. Just a dive to his right, keeps that ball out of the corner. That was extra bases.
All the way, and with Miguel Cabrera coming up, that makes it an even bigger play. Cabrera had an RBI double and scored a run his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Is it tough to come in the middle of the game as the catcher? Something that you don't see a whole lot.
Yeah, I had to do it a lot more than I wanted to with the Giants, but it just depends. You know, nowadays there are bullpen catchers, so the backup catchers sit on the bench just like any other extra position player.
That's why I kind of asked. It's not like you can I don't know, I guess you can stretch or something. Cabrera blasts one deep to right. Peralta! What a catch, David Peralta! The freight train backs up all the way to the wall and takes an extra base hit away from Miguel Cabrera. David Peralta has got it at the wall. We stretch at Chase Field. D-backs down 2. The wall in right field. David Peralta leaps up and makes a tremendous catch to win the top half of the 7th inning. And Chris Herman will lead off the home half as the Tigers put the defensive overshift on. Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, out to second. It'll be Herman, Pollock, and Peralta, 9, 1, and 2 here in the Diamondbacks 7th. Iglesias, the shortstop, stays on the left-hand side. There's strike one to Chris Herman, 178, 2 homers. Chris homered in Washington last week on the road trip. Verlander now over 100 pitches as he starts the 7th. Tigers bullpen is busy. Chris trying to get the bat going. There's the Tigers bullpen. Green is the right-hander, Hardy the left-hander. Shane Green, Blaine Hardy. Even with a 2-hit game last week against Washington, Herman 5 hits in his last 40 at-bats as he steps in here. He's ahead 3-1, looking for at least one base runner. A.J. Pollock on deck. Leadoff walk. Let's take one more look at that tremendous catch to win the top half of the 7th inning along the right field wall by David Peralta.
Cabrera has such easy power to the opposite field. It looked like he took a big swing at it, but chases David all the way back to the barrier. Nice play as he crashes into the wall out there in right center. That's our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing cool play of the game.
Here's A.J. Pollock. A.J. doubled and scored in the 3rd. He has struck out twice. Chops one foul right to Tony Perez Chica. It's 0-1. I hear you say during the break the Dodgers have a no-hitter going in L.A.
Not anymore.
Oh, Urias was on the mound for
had a no-hitter into the 7th. Andrew McCutchen with the double has broken up the no-hitter.
Dodgers lead the Pirates 2-0. Giants lost in New York. Mets beat them 6-1. Padres got creamed at Petco Park. Rangers won that one 11-0. Base hit. First two have reached against Verlander in the Diamondbacks' 7th, and here comes the freight train. Brad Ausmus has his bullpen ready to go. The left-hander's been warming up. Slow walk to the mound now for Verlander, and that's going to be it. Diamondbacks down 2, have the first two on in the 7th. Back in a moment. A 2-run deficit for the second time tonight. First two have reached safely. David Peralta will be the hitter, and he'll face left-hander Blaine Hardy, who split last season between the Tigers and their AAA club in Toledo, and he's already been back up for the minors once this year. He's pitched well so far. His 10th appearance, an ERA just over 2. The Tigers bullpen has the highest ERA in the majors this season.
And very much in a state of flux, as we mentioned earlier in the ball game. Francisco Rodriguez no longer the closer, so that affects the setup roles out of that Tigers bullpen as well.
It's a little unsettled. Justin Wilson is the new closer. That was announced today by Brad Ausmus. So here's Peralta 0 for 3. Herman at second and Pollock at first. Slicing along the left field line, a long run, and Iglesias can't get there. It's in the seats. David has struck out, twice grounded out tonight. Verlander responsible for the 2 base runners, a walk and a single. The last 13 balls David Peralta has put into play have been ground balls. Longest active streak in baseball. Trying to get one up in the air. Bullpen stays busy. Shane Green, the right-hander, has been joined by Alex Wilson. Yes, he checked Adam Hamari. 2 balls and a strike on Peralta. They have 2 Wilsons in the Tiger bullpen. Alex is the right-hander. Justin, the closer, is the left-hander. Deep left field. Upton backing up. He's got room on the warning track. And everybody has to stay put. One away.
as you mentioned, David, been struggling a little bit to get some air underneath the baseball. Remember back in the earlier part of the season, everything he hit to the opposite field was carrying out of the ballpark.
Well, Blaine Hardy gets his man. Now Smith's going to go back to the bullpen and bring in the right-hander to face Goldie.
Some dancing didn't take long, just a couple of songs, you know it's last call.
Green, who has given up just 1 run over his last 12 appearances, a 1.46 ERA this year. He's got a 5-3 lead in the 7th, but he'll face Paul Goldschmidt with 2 on and 1 out.
Green established a career high with his 50 appearances last season for the Tigers. And how about this, partner? He inherited 20 runners during the season. None of them scored.
And he was involved, Shane Green, in that 3-team trade that brought Robbie Ray to the Diamondbacks. Goldie has walked. He's got an RBI single and a run scored. He's 1 for 2. Herman at second, Pollock at first, 1 out. Breaking ball almost got to the backstop. Goldie ahead 1-0. Chris Herman started off the inning with a base on balls. Pollock singled off Verlander. Hardy came in to get Peralta to fly out. Now it's Green and Goldie with Lamb on deck. Good fastball at 97.
A good fastball and a good swing that time by Goldie. Came up empty, but he was looking to do some serious damage right there. That wasn't the normal controlled Paul Goldschmidt swing. He was trying to hit one hard.
Buckled him a bit. Breaking ball's a strike, and it's 1-2. Romine in center, shaded over a bit toward the pool. A lot of room in left center field for Goldie. Let's see how deep Matuk is playing. He's got his back to the warning track and right. Fly ball, deep center field. Romine just under the home run porch out there. He's got it. Herman tags up, Pollock into second. 2 down. Needed 2-out hit here from Jake Lamb. Jake walked in the first. He's 0 for 2. There's the automatic intentional walk, and they'll work to Yasmani Tomas. A no-pitch intentional walk, so the bases are full with 2 down for Tomas, who had a 2-out RBI single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3.
Now batting, left fielder,
Bases full of Diamondbacks. 2 outs. Herman at third. Pollock is the tying run at second. Lamb the go-ahead run at first. Fastball, strike one. Asmani didn't like the call. Bill Miller, the crew chief, back there tonight. And check on the breaking ball, and quickly it's 0-2. Got him. Diamondbacks down 2, leave them loaded in the 7th. It stays 5-3 Detroit. Five balls in that half inning, but could not get a run home, so it stays 5-3 Tigers as we start the 8th inning. First of a 2-game set against these AL Centrals. And CenturyLink gives us a look at what's next. The series finale here tomorrow night. Matthew Boyd, the left-hander, will be on the mound for the Tigers, and Zach Godley, back up from AAA Reno, will make his 2nd start this year, and we will be broadcasting that game from out on the home run porch.
How about that?
So we will leave the booth here tomorrow night and venture back out there. We did a game there last year. It was a lot of fun. So we've made arrangements to broadcast from right there, hanging out over the ballpark in center field. Nicholas Castellanos leads it off against Tom Wilhelmsen. Are you prepared emotionally
just for
the move?
Decide which hat to wear tomorrow.
Well, there's a lot involved.
Yeah.
Might be a little chilly out there too.
I'll have to dig out my glove again, knock the dust off of it, just in case somebody hits one out there to us.
Well, with these two lineups, there's a good chance.
If my memory serves, we had some food out there last year too.
Well, I'm hopeful that your staff has put together a lovely spread for us. But I don't know, we struck out with the Detroit deli guy, so I'm a little pessimistic about that.
Yeah, well, it's still early. We got plenty of time to come back and win this one, but I think I have a better chance of getting a free sandwich if the Tigers win. I'll gladly pay for my sandwich for a D-backs win tonight.
You haven't paid for a sandwich in there in a long time. 2-2 on Castellanos. So tomorrow night we'll broadcast from the home run porch here at Chase Field. That'll be a lot of fun. Remember last year we were out there. The final out of one of the early innings was a fly ball to center field, and Michael Bourne caught it and just tossed the baseball back up to us. Roll to third. Lamb charges, comes in and makes a really nice play. Jake Lamb. Very good, accurate throw to Goldie.
Playing deep, has to come in, kind of circles the ball so he gets a little bit of momentum going toward first base, and then the throw on the move, right on the money.
We broadcast a game from the home run porch last year, and suddenly that became the hottest ticket in the ballpark. People realize that that's a great, unique seat.
It really is. It gives you a completely different perspective on the game. You know, for us, we always sit up here behind home plate, and all of a sudden, everything was flipped around 180 degrees. We were looking at the players' backs. The ball was coming at us rather than going away from us. It's a different look.
There's not too many seats at any major league park where you actually sit out over the playing field. But that's what you do here at the ballpark at Chase. The home run porch in right and left center hangs out over the ballpark. Over the field, I should say. Upton hits one hard but foul down the left field line. I think that's the second time he's done that tonight.
Justin Upton's bat is as clean as the day it came out of the box. There's a little bit of pine tar down where he has those batting gloves gripping the handle of the bat, but the rest of it is spotless.
Hard to center. AJ will watch this one get out of here. It's in the camera well. Justin Upton his 6th, and it's 6-3 Tigers. That thing disappeared in there. It might have still been going up.
We talked about the Upton swing earlier in the ball game. When he has counts in his favor, he tends to swing a little bit too hard and occasionally loses sight of the baseball. When his swing is short and abbreviated, watch how quick his follow through is. Boom. Barely gets it up to shoulder level and generates a tremendous amount of power and backspin on this drive to straightaway center.
Just went down and got it. Tom Wilhelmsen. Wow. Mikey Mott took a 2-run single his last time up. The former Diamondback Justin Upton. Remember the first series he had back here when he was with Atlanta, had a whole bunch of home runs.
Justin Upton's swing on that home run a little reminiscent of Johnny Gomes. Remember Johnny Gomes used to have that real short follow through. He'd make contact and almost stop his swing immediately. And Upton very similar. He makes contact and brings the bat up to about shoulder height, and that's it.
Well, that sailed high over AJ's head in dead center. Still 1-2 on Mikey Mott.
Estimated distance on that Upton home run, 454 feet, came off the bat at 114 miles an hour.
114?
Whew.
Wow. Mottook looks at strike 3 from Wilhelmsen, 2 down in the game.
Catcher, James McCann.
I mean, Mark Reynolds, one of his home runs this weekend was 111, and that was like the 4th highest that they'd ever measured. James McCann homered in the 2nd. This was James McCann leading off the 2nd inning against Robbie Ray. his 7th of the season. Way out in front of that curveball.
We just showed you that McCann home run that might have scraped the back of the fence out there in center field. And then Justin Upton in this inning hit a missile into the camera well out in center field, but they both count for the same. Dusty Baker used to talk about that with Hank Aaron all the time. If it was 345 down the left field line, Hank would hit it 347.
Well, that's how you hit 755.
Yep. You don't get more points for hitting them farther.
Jorge De La Rosa has started warming up at the Diamondback bullpen. Just to the right there. There he is. Another hard fastball from Wilhelmsen strikes out McCann, but Justin Upton's home run has made it 6-3 Detroit.
And Mark Grace out here getting set for Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink. Our post-game show. Well, Robbie Ray, he had a rough start, then he looked to settle down. And then in that 5th inning, though, Waxel hurt.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks got him a lead with a 3-run inning off of Justin Verlander after striking out a very good hitter in Justin Upton. Unfortunately, he let a 182 hitter beat him. That would have been Mr. Matuk.
So we will look a little bit closer at Robbie Ray's night and Justin Verlander's and get all the reaction coming up on the post-game show.
Okay, thanks, guys. Here is the right-hander Alex Wilson, one of 2 Wilsons in the Detroit bullpen. The other is the left-hander Justin Wilson, who was named the new closer today. Brandon Drury leads off the bottom of the 8th inning. Brandon 2 for 3 tonight. He has doubled twice, knocked in a run. And he has continued to just rake here in his home park. .431 this year, second highest home batting average in the league. Doubles for Drury tonight, numbers 7 and 8 on the year. Fly ball left center field. Upton calling off. He'll yield to Romine. Another loud fly ball out for the Diamondbacks. One down in the 8th. Upton was calling for that one, but gave way to the center fielder the last moment there. That'll bring up Chris Owings, who singled in the second. He's 1 for 3. Stop by Machado, but he can't finish off the play, and Owings is aboard. Dixon Machado lays out with a tremendous stop, but it's an infield single for Owings.
Yeah, we like to say that's a half of a good play. Machado makes a great play to knock that ball down, but when he tries to make the exchange into the throwing hand, the ball just comes loose. I'm sure that'll be an infield hit for Chris Owings, given the fact Machado had to leave his feet right there.
Pitcher's spot is 8th in the lineup for the Diamondbacks. So hitting for Wilhelmsen will be Daniel Descalso. 173 and 2 home runs. Descalso started Sunday's game in Colorado. In left field, he singled and scored a run. Adding 173 on the year. Daniel 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter this year with 3 RBIs. He's also walked 3 times in a pinch hit role. Diamondbacks looking for base runners. Dave McKay coaching in first. Two balls and a strike. Tigers trying to keep pace in the American League Central with Cleveland. They're a game and a half behind the Tribe for the division lead. Cleveland won tonight 6-0 at Toronto. Hitters count here 2-1. Fouls it off. Chris Herman on deck.
Good pitch to hit right there. Wilson missed his spot from one side of the plate to the other, left it up and out over. Descalso put a good swing on it, but just under it a little bit, fouled it straight back. Wilson out there, he throws a couple of different fastballs, a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer, a lot of sliders, an occasional curveball.
Last time we saw Descalso hit here at Chase Field, he knocked a home run into the pool to walk off the Rockies. That was a week ago Sunday. Here's the 2-2. Owings moves up. Nice block by McCann, but it rolled away from him. And now it's a 3-2 count on Descalso.
You see that slider spin. That ball hits and kicks back to the left. It hits on that little extension pad that protects the left shoulder of James McCann. Gets far enough away for Chris Owings to advance. One time the extra protective gear actually hurt McCann behind the plate. Of course, you don't want to take that pitch in the shoulder, but the extension that protects that left shoulder is very stiff, very hard, and that ball shot away.
Slider and a good one at 89. Strikes out Descalso. 2 down.
Inside under the bat. That's a devastating pitch for a left-handed hitter because Daniel Descalso, like a lot of left-handers, likes that ball down and in. He saw that slider headed for that location, but just couldn't catch up with the break.
Second plate appearance tonight for Chris Herman. He walked his first time up. Owings at second and 2 outs. Broken bat, one hop. Machado from the outfield grass throws him out. We'll head to the 9th inning at Chase Field. Diamondbacks trail the Tigers 6-3.
Lead the D-backs 6-3 as we head to the top half of the 9th inning. Time to take a look at our Coors Banquet timeless moment on this day in 2006. After playing 1,914 games behind the plate, Pudge Rodriguez moves out to first base for the first time in his career to play a position other than catcher. Now, he's also played some second base, I think, in the same season. He came in an emergency one night, played a little second base, but I can't imagine Pudge not having that gear on.
The son of New England. Here's Jorge De La Rosa. His 14th appearance. He's been outstanding at 2.31 ERA. And he'll work the 9th inning.
Second baseman Dixon Machado.
4th Diamondback reliever to appear in the ball game tonight. Torey Lovullo's used all 3 lefties. McFarland, Chafin, and now De La Rosa. Dixon Machado, the second baseman, will lead it off in the 9th. He's 0 for 3. Victor Martinez is making his way out into the on-deck circle for the Tigers. Pitcher spot is up next. No DH for Detroit, so at this point in his career, Martinez really can't do anything but hit. Maybe a little first base. He's 38 years old.
He's got a pair of knees that are about 68.
Exactly right. It's kind of a rare dying breed now, the strictly DH type in the American League. Now Teams don't want to have sort of the old slow guy as the DH unless you can hit like David Ortiz or something, because then it really hamstrings your bench and your versatility if you're the skipper. So guys like Big Papi and Victor, who pretty much just hit all the time, there's not many of them left.
Hanley Ramirez is kind of venturing into that territory this year. He's playing a little bit of first base from time to time, but mostly DHing for the Red Sox.
Dave Clark at third.
Always a good idea for the hitting coach, in this case Lloyd McClendon on the left, to snuggle up to the guy that just hit a home run.
Well, just coaching him up, that's all that is. Oh, broken bat bloop, and it drops into center for Machado, his first hit tonight. And here's Vmart. Victor Martinez, the switch hitter, 264 with a home run. 38 years old, a 5-time All-Star. But he's going through an early season power drain this year. He's only got 5 extra base hits. Hit 27 home runs last year for Detroit. Now in his 15th major league season. The Indians, the Red Sox, and the Tigers. He's got a career batting average of exactly 300. And he's hit nearly 230 home runs. Diamondbacks trail at 6-3. They have out-hit the Tigers 8-7. But the D-backs have stranded 9 base runners tonight. Tigers have left 4. Diamondbacks, when they were down, only 2 left the bases loaded in the 7th. And Tomas struck out with 2 outs. And then Upton tacked on a solo homer in the 8th. There's a former Tiger, Salvatore Lavello. Base hit for Martinez. He might not ever be able to really run or hit for power, but he'll probably hit like that when he's 60.
That'll probably take him out for a pinch runner now that he got his base hit. Clean shot into right field.
Tyler Collins comes into pinch run.
Just down and in. You can see where Chris Herman was going to receive that ball, and somehow Martinez got down, kept his hands inside the ball, and still hits a line drive.
So Collins runs for Martinez. First 2 have reached against Jorge De La Rosa, and here's the leadoff man, Andrew Romine. Romine 0 for 2, but he's walked twice and scored both times. Squares to bunt, bunts it right to Goldie. Got a hustle here. De La Rosa just does beat him to the bag, and the runners move up. That was very close at first.
One of those plays, there's a lot of uncertainty. We know Goldie likes to take the ball himself to first base. He had the second baseman, Brandon Drury, over there covering. Jorge De La Rosa coming over from the mound. A little bit of confusion, but De La Rosa gets to the bag in time for the out.
Jose Iglesias is the hitter, the shortstop. A single in the 5th. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He's got Machado at 3rd, Collins at 2nd, and 1 out. Infield in for the Diamondbacks, trying to keep this a 3-run gap. 2-0. Jody Jackson and Mark Gray standing by. Diamondback Live post-game show follows our ball game. Those are the three guys that have done most of the damage. McCann, Upton, and Matuk. McCann homered in the second. Matuk had a 2-run single in the fifth. Upton homered in the eighth. Miguel Cabrera, who had an RBI double in the fifth, is on deck. De La Rosa behind 3 balls and no strikes.
This might be a take 2 strike situation with the guy waiting in the on deck circle.
Hits it hard. Chris Owings, what a stop. Looks Machado back to the bag and throws out Iglesias. Boy, that was a bullet right to CO, and he made a lovely play.
Very little time to react when you have your infield drawn into the cut of the grass right there. That one hit about a step or 2 to his left. He checks both runners before throwing on to first for the easy out. Nice play.
Well, we'll see how they want to play this. First base is open. Cabrera the hitter, and he'll get the no pitch intentional walk. So they'll work to Castellanos with 2 outs and the bases full.
Well, that's easy under any circumstance, but especially given the fact Cabrera 5 for 8 lifetime against Jorge De La Rosa with a homer and a double.
You know, I got to tell you, I hated that rule when they came up with it, but now I don't mind it at all. Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's go.
I really thought it would bother me. It's fine. So here's Castellanos, an RBI single in the first. Machado at third. Collins, the pinch runner, at second, and Cabrera at first. It's not a big difference. You're not going to shave a whole lot of time, but it does move things along.
It keeps the pace of the game going. Yeah, you're not just standing there watching the guy throw 4 wide ones, and then the pitcher or the batter throws his bat away and acts like he's upset he didn't get a chance to swing. You know, the whole act.
The home crowd can boo.
Yeah, let's just move it along.
Play those chicken noises over the PA. I have to admit, not much has been lost. And you said it speeds up the pace. That's always been the key word from the commissioner's office. It's not so much about time of game. It's much more about pace of game, pace of play. Jorge behind 2 balls and no strikes. Out of ball, Sanchez. On the left there. It's been a struggle for him this year. Low fastball from De La Rosa. 2-1. Castellanos has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games. He singled and a walk tonight. De La Rosa back even. It's 2-2. Bases full of Tigers, 2 outs. Full count. That split changeup missed. Upton, who homered his last time up, is on deck. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Nicholas Castellanos. There go the runners. They walked in a run. And now the bases are loaded for Upton.
Left fielder Justin Upton.
Archie Bradley ready in the Diamondback bullpen. And he's on his way in. We'll take a break. Archie Bradley on, trying to get the final out of the top of the 9th inning. Our Ash Lyon call to the bullpen. Archie has been outstanding, his 10th appearance this year, and ERA just a tick over 1.5. But he's inherited a bit of a mess. Bases loaded, 2 outs. He'll work to Justin Upton, who homered his last time up.
Yeah, Archie last pitch in that first game in Colorado in relief of Zach Greinke went an inning and a third in that ball game, gave up 3 hits, struck out 3 and allowed 1 run.
That's the first time that Archie has come on and worked the 9th inning. He started off in the 8th in that ball game. This was Upton his last time up, into the camera well in dead center. Archie in that game Friday at Colorado worked the 8th inning, got 3 outs in that. Torrey sent him back out there for the 9th, and then it got a little ugly. He found out those last 3 outs a little bit different. You're out there without a net. Settle for 1 out right here. Jumps ahead of Upton 0-2. There's that knuckle curveball from Archie. Collins stays put at third. Cabrera is the runner at second, and Castellanos at first.
Nice job by Chris Herman blocking that curveball in the dirt. That's exactly where you want to throw it in an 0-2 count. Hope to get Justin Upton to chase a bad pitch out of the zone and trust that your catcher is going to keep it in front.
Fastball caught looking at 99. And Archie leaves them loaded, but the Tigers get 1 more. So A.J. Pollock will lead off the bottom of the 9th with the Diamondbacks down 7-3. It was a rough weekend in Oakland for these Detroit Tigers. Saturday's ball game. Francisco Rodriguez blew the save. The A's got a walk-off win. Same thing happened on Sunday. There it goes. So back-to-back walk-off losses. K-Rod was relieved of his duties today as the Tigers closer after saving 44 games last season. And here is the new closer. Named to this role today, the left-hander Justin Wilson, who has struck out 22 batters in 13 2/3 innings this year. A.J. Pollock leads off the ninth, down 7-3. Justin Wilson was just named Tigers Pitcher of the Month for April. He's picked up the odd save here or there, but this is really his first run as the closer. No word from Brad Ausmus as to how long this is going to last, but for now it's Wilson's job.
That's a very delicate thing to massage for a manager when you have a veteran who has been so good as Francisco Rodriguez has been throughout his career, but obviously not the same pitcher at this stage as he was last year or the year before.
Yeah. K-Rod leads all active pitchers in saves. He's fourth in Major League history with 437 saves. But now at the age of 35, a couple of bumps in the road. Up the middle. Oh, Wilson sticks out the glove and snags it. One down. Jody Jackson, Mark Gray standing by. D-backs live post game brought to you by CenturyLink. Follows our ball game. Gracie, you look at Robbie Ray's effort tonight against his former team, the Tigers. Here's Peralta 0 for 4. This quick 2-game series wraps up here tomorrow. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at 6 o'clock. Zach Godley back up for the Miners. Will start for the Diamondbacks against lefty Matthew Boyd. And then the Pirates are in for the first of 4. Starting on Thursday, Zach Greinke versus Garrett Cole. A 4-game series versus Pittsburgh, and then 3 against the Mets starting on Monday. Get your tickets at dbacks.com for this long homestand. Diamondbacks hoping to get well here with some home cooking. 9 straight, 12 of 15 at Chase Field, but they're down 7-3 in the opener. And Torey Lovullo was hoping that Chase Field will get the offense going. He admitted after the loss Sunday in Colorado that his club is in a little bit of a rut right now, but he's convinced they'll find their way out of it. Tonight, 3 runs on 8 hits. They've left 9. Peralta gets tied up on a high fastball and strikes out. 2 down.
Just can't check. That high fastball looks so good to a hitter. Gets that bat way out in front that time.
So Goldie is last man standing.
Been able to bunch anything together. They did get some walks in the ball game. They left 3 on in that 7th inning. Had a chance. Really, the only inning that they scored in that 3rd inning was when they were able to bunch some hits together. They had 4 knocks in that inning. Pushed across 3 runs, but that's been it. They were 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position in the 3rd, 0 for 8 for the rest of the ball game.
So Moss, who had an RBI single with 2 outs in that 3rd inning, has also stranded a bunch of runners today. Yasmani grounded out with 2 on in the 1st and then struck out with the bases loaded in the 7th. The 1-1 to Goldie. That's out of play. It's 1-2. Don't forget, fans, Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. Diamondbacks are hosting the Pirates. That's Robbie Ray versus Ivan Nova. 1:10 start. All the moms with us. First 10,000 moms will get to take home the D-backs clutch purse and a PetSmart gift card. Get your tickets for Mother's Day this Sunday at dbacks.com. Foul ball. Pirates have come back in LA to take a lead over the Dodgers 3-2. They're in the 8th inning. Giants lost again. They were beaten by the Mets at Citi Field 6-1. Jeff Samardzija lost that game.
That's 5 in a row for the Giants.
Yeah, they're really struggling. Matt Moore got knocked around yesterday. Padres lost at home 11-0 to Texas. High fly ball. Mikey Moxhook in right field. Well, this long homestand for the Diamondbacks begins with a 7-3 loss to Detroit. And the Diamondbacks, who have already lost 3 consecutive series, have now lost 3 consecutive baseball games.
Yeah, once again, the offense just not at the right times. Those clutch hits with runners on base that every team needs if you're going to go on any kind of a winning streak have just been absent for the last 3 days for the Diamondbacks.
Well, let's turn it over to Gracie and Jody Jackson standing by with Diamondbacks Live post-game show brought to you by CenturyLink. Jody.
All right, thanks, Steve. Yes, 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position for the Diamondbacks in this one. But yes, Verlander and the Tigers bullpen had a lot to do with that.
Man, that bullpen was something impressive. They came in and they just shut the door for the Detroit Tigers. The big inning for me was the 7th. You get the first 2 guys on, you're down by 2 runs. None of them can score, but you got to give that bullpen a lot of credit for the Tigers. They closed the door.
Well, coming up at the post-game show, of course, we'll have all the reaction. The manager, Torey Lovullo, will speak to the media. We'll have that for you live. We'll also have reaction from inside the clubhouse. And Mark Grace and Bob Brenly will chime in on Robbie Ray's outing tonight and some of his struggles. We will have it all for you shortly, right after the break, so stay tuned. Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, is coming your way right after the break.